Hello Year 5, it's Mrs. Lee here with your second English lesson this week. So let's start off with a little bit of total recall. I want you to have a look at what you think is wrong with these sentences. As the sun rose, the black crow pecked at the berries. The cat prowled, pounced and clawed around the park. The archaeologists discovered an ancient ruin in Mexico. Pause the screen and have a look and see if you can work out what's wrong with the sentences. Okay, let's go through the answers. So hopefully you will have noticed that this has a fronted adverbial. As the sun rose, comma, the black crow pecked at the berries. And that's today's title. Today we're going to be looking at how to use fronted adverbials. The cat prowled, pounced and clawed around the park. Well, this is commas in lists. We've got three verbs that the cat did, but we shouldn't have this comma with the and. And the last sentence, whoa, it needs a capital letter to start the sentence. Is there anything else? The archaeologists discovered an ancient ruin in Mexico. Capital letter for a proper noun because Mexico is a place. Well done if you spotted all of those. Okay, so today's lesson, fronted adverbials. So fronted adverbials are a word or a phrase, and a phrase does not have a verb in it. So remember, a verb is a doing, being or having word. So a phrase doesn't have a verb in it. At the beginning of a sentence that are used to describe the action that follows. So for example, one word you could use at the beginning of a sentence that would describe the action that follows is nervously. Or you could have the phrase during the day. They give the reader extra information about the main clause, the main part of the sentence, by telling them when, where, or how the action has happened. So some examples of fronted adverbials. During the day, Mrs. Lee drinks lots of coffee. That's very true. With anger, Mr. James shouts at his laptop. In the evening, Mr. Walker enjoys a bath. With happiness, Miss Tullett played the piano. So there's some examples of fronted adverbials. So fronted adverbials tell us when something happened, where something happened, or how something happens. And they go at the front of your sentences. So these are some examples of fronted adverbials for when. In the morning, one evening, at 3:10, eventually, later, and afterwards. You can notice they're all followed by a comma. So I'd like you to pause the screen and complete the sentence. The strange smell seeped out. Okay, you could have in the morning, the strange smell seeped out. One evening, the strange smell seeped out. At 3:10, the strange smell seeped out. Eventually, the strange smell seeped out. Later, the strange smell seeped out. Or afterwards, the strange smell seeped out. Or you could have used your own. Okay, fronted adverbials for where. Got in London, so it could be a place, on the street, above the clouds, in the distance, by the fire, everywhere she looked. So I'd like you to pause and complete the sentence. So you could have the place in London, in Cornwall. There were seagulls stealing chips. On the street there were seagulls stealing chips. Above the clouds there were seagulls stealing chips. That doesn't really work, does it? Now today I want you to try and use fronted adverbials that do work in your sentences. It would be odd if there was chips flying around above the clouds. In the distance, there were seagulls stealing chips. That works. By the fire? Maybe not. I don't know if you'd find seagulls by a fire. Everywhere she looked, there were seagulls stealing chips. That's quite difficult to say. So yeah, try and choose your fronted adverbials carefully. Now, how? So fronted adverbials of how something happens, how the action happens. So nervously, slowly, happily, bravely, with fear in his eyes. I like that one. With excitement. So pause and complete the sentence. I think all of these fronted adverbials do actually work. With excitement, they entered the hidden cave. With fear in his eyes, he entered the hidden cave. You'd have to change the pronoun they. But yeah, and they give a very different meaning to the sentence. Nervously, they entered the hidden cave is very different than with excitement, they entered the hidden cave. Okay, so your task today, you are an archaeologist. An archaeologist is a person that digs in the ground and discovers things. And you have just discovered this abandoned building hidden in the jungle. Now this building over here on the left looks as if it has been dug out as well. Like maybe this is a cliff next to it on one side, and I have no idea what this strange sort of shape around the building is. And this one looks like some sort of lost tomb, and it looks almost like it's underneath the roots of a tree, or the roots of a tree have grown around the entrance to the tomb. Have a little think about what those two pictures could be. So bronze today, I want you to finish these sentences. So you've got the fronted adverbials with the comma there for the first three. And then for the second three, I've given you the main clause, the main action of the sentence, and I'd like you to add a different fronted adverbial. I do not want to see anybody put deep in the jungle, stood an abandoned building with lots of windows. I want you to think of a different fronted adverbial for that one. So pause the screen if you'd like to complete bronze today. Okay, silver, I want you to write your own sentences using fronted adverbials to answer these questions. Can you see them all? Where was the abandoned building? How did the archaeologist feel when they made the discovery? When and what was discovered? What is inside the building? Has anything else been discovered in the same area? And what is around the building? So what's around this building here? So pause the screen if you'd like to do silver today. So you can do a sentence on each one of those using a fronted adverbial to answer each question. And gold today. You are the archaeologist and you have discovered a lost city in a jungle in Mexico. Write a paragraph to describe your findings using fronted adverbials. Warning! Do not use fronted adverbials for every sentence. This will just be boring. Try and include some other things as well. So as long as you get 3 fronted adverbials in there, pad the rest of your paragraph out with some fantastic expanded noun phrases. So adjective, comma, adjective, noun. Do commas in lists. Do some compound sentences. So 2 simple sentences joined together with a coordinating conjunction. Boa, but, or, and some complex sentences where you would add a dependent clause using although, because, or when. Okay, so have a go at writing your own paragraph. Just use a few fronted adverbials and try some other things there as well. Excellent. Pause the screen if you'd like to do gold. Well done today, Year 5. Fantastic efforts for giving it a go. We'd really love to see your work, so remember to share your work with us on Teams. Get your parents or somebody at home to take a photograph of your work and upload it into a private message to your teacher. Have an awesome day. Bye.